this is Krist Cruz and
Michael Dela Cruz.
from Expanded Awareness. Today's episode is called Mike's Journey to Entrepreneurship. Now, we're going to give a little background on Mike, and it's not to blame anyone, and it's not to say that circumstances are bad, and it's not to overlook things. It's so that you understand where he came from. Okay, so when you were in the 7th grade, you've already lived in the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, Florida, Pennsylvania, Arizona, and then finally Alaska. That's 6 different places. Is that correct?
Yes, I've been, I guess, distributed in different places. Yeah.
And by the time you were 18, you've lived with 7 different families or people, 4 of which were your father's ex-girlfriends.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
And wives.
And wives. Okay. Got to get that straight.
Yes.
So when you were in the 10th grade, your dad told you you're going to go on vacation for a year. And how did that turn out, Mike? Why don't you talk a little about that?
Well, basically, what turned out to be a year actually ended up being 7 years.
7 years?
In Dominican Republic. Yes.
And you really thought, you kept thinking that your dad was going to come get you?
Yes, exactly. So
Wow.
for 7 years, I lived in Dominican Republic from when I was 15 till I was, until I became an adult, 22, 21.
So who took care of you? How did you make money and eat? I mean, you were a kid.
Well, first I was living with my mom for a little while, but the job that she had wasn't enough to pretty much take care of me and her. And so I was sent to live with my grandma on my dad's side, so I lived with her for a little while. So
How many people lived with her?
a whole bunch. That was my uncles, my uncle's kids, and yeah. So
How many kids do you have to share a room with on an average?
probably like 5 or 6,
In one bed?
and yeah, 4 in one bed. But yeah,
Wow.
that was me growing up as a kid. So during that time, when I was with my grandma. Then I started playing baseball for a little bit there, learning how to play, and I was getting pretty good at it. But things just hit rock bottom, and I was forced to move with my other grandma on my mom's side.
Okay.
And there I had my my humble beginnings there, because
Where was she living? Was she in the city or?
she was actually living like in the countryside south of Dominican Republic.
Did they have water? Running water?
No running water, so there was times that we had to go probably 2 miles, a mile or 2 miles to get water from rivers. And they did have like a faucet at that time that was shared with like the whole neighborhood. So we'll probably get water maybe twice a week, sometimes once a week.
Wow.
So it was a big line.
Was there lots of food?
Yeah, my grandma did her best to feed us. There was the times that we didn't have nothing, nothing to eat whatsoever. So it was just me, my cousins. Again, this is on my mom's side, and sometimes we had to go out and like climb trees, get some mangoes. So my grandma will go to the marketplace and sell. She will like loan, like different type of foods that she can sell for like a commission. And whatever money she made, she'll buy food from that, and then I'll help out too along the way. And
So you helped your mom sell food?
Oh, my grandma.
Or grandma?
Yeah, I helped my grandma at times to sell food too on the streets, and that's how we ate. A lot of times I had to go to, get some mangoes or get some guava on trees and stuff, and make juice and things like that. So it was a pretty humbling experience.
Did you have any time to have fun?
Yeah.
My thing's fun.
Yeah. Yes. So yeah, I know I had not playing victim or anything like that. It was actually a good experience to learn from. But we also have fun in those, during those experiences. I was a kid, so I played with other kids. Baseball. I went. We got invited to like country parties where people played with accordion and
Accordions?
Yeah, they had accordion and drums, and And it was cool. They played live music, and everybody was pretty much, you know, in festivities all the time.
Vamos por el grupo. So nobody had a lot, but they were still happy.
Exactly. They were still happy. They made the best of what they had, and I learned, you know, to live that way for a little bit.
How to be happy with what you have.
How to be happy with what I have. How to make the best, the best with what we had at the moment.
Okay. It might have been kind of lonely when you were in Dominican Republic. Was there anyone or any relationship that really made you feel at home, or made you feel comfortable, or made you feel like a part of things? Because you're not an attached person. You don't get attached to people or things, understandably, because of your experiences.
Yeah.
But is there anybody that made an impact on you? Aside from your mom, you really love your mom.
Yes. Well, aside from my mom, I feel like her brother, my uncle Julio, he made a big impact in my life. He pretty much just the one that like taught me the ways over there. Like we'll go to parties and stuff, and you know, he guided me on like what to do, and he was always there to make sure that I was safe.
And safety is an issue, because when you got off the airplane in the Dominican Republic, what happened? Can you tell me what happened?
Oh, well, that same night when we took off from Alaska and we landed there, actually I had a cousin or an auntie that got shot that day because somebody decided to...
Where was she shot?
She was shot right on the heart.
Oh my gosh. Waiting for you?
Well, she was waiting for my dad. You know, whenever my dad goes there, it's like they throw a huge party and stuff, like a welcome party, and she was waiting for my dad, and somebody decided to snatch you know, purse from military's person's wife, and military person just started, you know, he was shooting at the guy that, you know, that stole the purse, and one of the bullets hit one of my aunties.
And killed her?
Yeah, it was right straight at the heart.
So it can be a dangerous place. I mean, when you ride the subways, walk around the neighborhoods, you have to be really aware.
You have to be really aware. I mean, I have people that they want to like visit. You know, DR, it's okay if you go to the resorts and stuff on your own, but if you're gonna like visit neighborhoods and stuff, I highly recommend you go with somebody that lives in the neighborhood. I mean, that's the best way to stay safe, because they'll tell you where not to go. And if people see you with that person, they'll say, okay, we don't mess with that person because it's with, you know.
So you've actually been pickpocketed.
Yes, multiple times.
So I mean, this is somebody who speaks Spanish and who kind of knows the ways.
I've been pickpocketed. Yeah, I've been, you know, it's crazy. One day somebody like pretty much pretended that they had a gun and they like, you know, took my watch, but it wasn't of big value, but still. It's not a good experience I would recommend on anybody that hasn't experienced that or that has. I mean, you work hard for your, you know, for what you wear and what you know, what you have in life. For somebody.
So you went out with your uncle a lot, and he was a protector, and he kind of helped you out and know the ways of the streets.
Yes, so it was I would say like a guide.
Guide, yeah.
He didn't like. It wasn't like he's like, you know, like he would like shield me or anything like that, but he would just give me some pointers and
life lessons,
and then we have a lot of fun too. We went out and we danced, and yeah, I mean, my uncle was the guy to go to for fun, and I always remember when I didn't have anything, he was there. I was like, he would invite me to places and I'd be like, I don't have any money right now.
Aww.
And he's still like, oh, don't worry about it, I got you. So then when I turned around and then I started making money, when he didn't have any money, then I just pay it forward. And that's part of why I do things too, because I want to be able to give back to those that, you know, that gave to me, just like I do with you.
Oh, that's wonderful, Mike. That's so nice. Thank you, Julio, for taking care of my Mikey. So when you're in your late teens and you got tired of not having any food and not being able to support yourself, support your family, what did you do? What did you decide to do in Dominican Republic to make money?
Well, so after a while, I ended up moving back to the capital. I told my mom, look, I want to, you know, move back. I'm of age that I can work now. So.
How old were you?
I was probably around 19 at that moment.
Okay.
I was 19, so I went back and to the capital, And one of my aunties used to work. She used to work at this place where they had like Hanes, like kind of like factories kind of places.
Oh, Hanes Underwear Factory?
Yeah, like Hanes Underwear factories. But there was other companies in there.
Oh, so there was a little district that all the companies and factories worked.
Exactly.
Okay.
So she heard about people working in call centers, so they needed people that knew English.
And you happen to know English because you spent your formative years in America.
Exactly. So I learned English here in the U.S. And
when you moved there, did you know a lot of Spanish?
Yeah, I knew some, but it was a little iffy because spending a lot of time in the U.S. All I did was speak. I mean, English is my second language, so I started speaking more English. So it was my Spanish was a little screwed up because I mostly spoke English here. Because you only speak Spanish here, like at your house with your parents.
Yeah.
So when I went over there, I got to like get my Spanish at full capacity, and then my English got a little messy as well because I used mostly the Spanish.
Yeah.
So it switched, but I found this company where my auntie referred me to, and I went and applied, and I literally thought that I wasn't gonna like get hired. I don't know why, because they just pull a group to the side and they say, okay, you guys get to the side, and then they send this group outside. So I was like, man, am I really getting this job? Like I really needed a job at that moment. Like I wanted to like move on in life, and I had no idea when my dad was going to go there and get in my papers so I can come back to the US and move on in life. But I pretty much got that job, and that was in something called call centers, doing customer support for cable companies. I did like stuff for like computer hard drives. And it was pretty cool experience. I learned a lot about customer support over the phone. I learned about tech support, troubleshooting things. So that job really helped me make money over there. And I went from like having nothing to like earning a living to at least live better.
Did that teach you about people at all?
Yeah, I learned a lot about people, different types of people. I actually have fun talking on the phone with people too, back in America, because I'm like, I felt like I was in the U.S. Again, through talking to people on the phone and helping them get their issue resolved through the phones. So,
how many years did you work doing that?
I want to say about 3 years.
Okay. So, and then what brought you back to the U.S. 7 years later? The 7-year vacation.
Yeah, that was my 1 year turned into 7 years vacation. So what brought me back to the U.S. pretty much, I never wanted to not come back to the U.S. I mean, this is the land that I pretty much grew up in too, aside from just DR, but I spent most of my life here in the U.S. So I just wanted to come back and make, this is the land of opportunities. America is known for the land of opportunities, so I just wanted to come back and
grow,
pretty much, yeah. Right? Get the American dream and be of help.
So finally, your dad went there and picked you up and brought you back?
Well, yeah. I actually picked myself up, but my dad went there and asked. He brought my papers and asked for my papers, and I bought my own plane ticket, and I said I'm going back to America. It was like I was called to come back, and I just had the urge. So that same day he gave my papers, I actually resigned from my call center job that I was working in.
The same day.
Pretty much that same day, and then I went to get my passport and stuff, and then I just set up a date to come back and. Had some immigration issues, as you may know.
Yeah.
for several issues, because I was outside of the U.S. for so long, as I wasn't yet, I wasn't a U.S. citizen. I was just a resident, so had to work that out and had to prove that I did not intend to abandon my residency.
We hired a lawyer. We did this all legitimately.
Yes, we hired a lawyer and
went through the process.
And boom, voila, I'm a citizen again.
And so. Once you came back to America, you kind of went on overdrive. I mean, you were on vacation for 7 years, or kind of like not able to excel for 7 years.
Right.
What did you do when you came back?
Well, because of all the 7 years that I felt like, kind of like slow me down. I was everything was accelerated when I came back. I said, man, there's so many things I can do now.
So you went to high school up until 10th grade. Did you continue it in Dominican Republic?
No, I tried, but because something with the papers being translated, my dad had to do some translation, and I don't know what happened to that, but I couldn't finish high school over there.
Oh, okay. So then, fast forward, you came back to America. And
Yes, we're like eager to grow, eager to, to really excel in life
and live your full potential.
and live my full, my full potential with no limitations. So I got my GED. I went to, downtown here and went to this place where they provide you with your GED and they train you and stuff. So I got my GED within 2 months, and
oh wow!
I was really
You were
ready.
serious.
I was really serious. Like there were some people that were in there that just spending like I don't know how many years or months in there. I was like, no, I just came here to really progress and really excel and succeed and grow. So.
And then when I met you, you had 2 jobs.
Yes.
You clean buildings.
Yes, I got to clean buildings for a little bit. I worked at Home Depot as well. And that was pretty, it was an exciting job. Got to meet people, got to, again, joke around with people and help people out.
That's right. And then after I met you, Mike came to me and said he wanted to go to college and get his degree. Tell me about that, Mike.
So that was another thing. So again, this is all had to do with me being stagnant in DR, going through the experience. I just wanted to excel. And I just wanted to prove it was more for me. I was, went to college and online, and we had those nights that I would spend, just doing work and stuff. And
all night.
All night. So yeah, within like I would say a year and a half, so I got a degree in college, and I learned some things in there. Not that college is required to be successful, but I actually did that and. Just to prove myself that I can, finish. And again, I was in accelerated mode.
Andy was running a business on the side
Yes.
and going to barber school as well. So he did all those things at the same time.
Yes, I did.
And we managed to go out and go dancing on the weekends.
Yes. And I was working here at another job after Home Depot, so I ended up working for a company, XYZ, and it was an office job, and that that was an interesting job. I did not see myself working in an office or corporate my whole life. So entrepreneurship, that's when it was calling me, because after that job, I just didn't feel any eager to find another job. And that's when I came to Krist with the bright idea of doing hair. You remember how you reacted to that?
Yeah. Not very well.
So yeah.
I was just scared. I was not prepared for anybody like Michael. I've never met anybody with his stick-to-itiveness. He always does what he says he's going to do. And so I thought Mike would have a bright idea of going to hair school, barber school, helping me out, and then just losing the momentum and being bored. Now, I didn't want that for him. I wanted him to be happy. But I wasn't taking into consideration who Michael is.
Yeah.
And Michael's a person who always does what he says and always follows through. And he always accomplishes what he wants to accomplish. But
Yeah.
You know what you taught me, Mike? Do you remember when I was dating you? And I said, Mike, how am I going to trust you? I've had so many bad relationships. How am I going to trust you? What did you tell me?
Well, I say the best way you can trust somebody is by trusting them. That's the only way you can trust somebody. If you don't trust that person, you don't give your 100% and trust it, then you will never know if that person is a trustworthy person. And then if they end up doing something that will lose that trust, then at least you figure out if you didn't, trust them. But that's my philosophy on that.
And
trust.
I think that's beautiful, because I was taught the old way. The old way is you have to earn trust, you have to earn respect, but it should be given, like Michael said.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have used my other relationships and prove yourself, Michael, show me.
Right. Yeah, you're innocent till proven guilty. That's my philosophy with everything. It's not the other way around with me. So if I trusted somebody and they mess up, then that's on them. They lost my trust and they burned their bridges. but at least I gave it my all, so I don't feel bad about it.
And I also learned a lot from you on your philosophy of failure, because I was always taught to kind of be cautious and don't put all your eggs in one basket, and you can fail and failure's awful. What did you tell me about failure?
I don't know what specifically I did tell you.
That it's a learning experience.
Yeah.
And you don't really fail.
You don't yeah, failure, exactly. Failure to me is just a feedback, and that's one thing I read today. It was pretty cool.
Oh,
That kind of summarizes that. So if you succeed, you win, and if you fail, then at least you learn a lesson, so you win regardless. When you fail, you actually learn what not to do next time.
Whether it's relationships, jobs,
yes,
money,
anything really. It's basically you learn what not to do when you fail. So it's just all feedback. So it's really, failure is just part of success. And I really tell people that with anything you do, you have to embrace your failures, your struggles, because those are the things that are gonna prepare you to appreciate when the good things, when the harvest comes, right? So don't give up on yourself. Just keep going. And if you fail, then get up again and then do it again. Just like a little kid, when they're learning how to walk, they bust their ass so many times, and they get up again and they just keep walking. Same thing when you're learning how to ride a bike. I mean, it's just part of life. This is the human experience. We learn through mistakes. We learn through failures. And if you're making the same mistake over and over again, then you have to reevaluate yourself. And then once you start making new mistakes, then we're moving on from that. Now let's learn the next lesson.
Michael, I love your attitude. It's so refreshing. Why don't you tell us a little bit about this festive outfit you have on?
All right, so this is a shirt because I'm very patriotic. I'm from Dominican Republic, as you may know. And I don't know, I like wearing these Dominican shirts and hats, just pretty much just represent my patriotism. And sometimes you'll see me wearing the American, flag too, because again, I came to America, so I'm also American too. So, but I always connect to my roots. I was born in DR, came to the U.S. when I was 3 years old. Up until I was 15, of course, there was a 7-year gap.
Which we talked about.
And all of that was a learning experience. This is not playing victim. This is just what led me to entrepreneurship, was actually that life that I lived over there. And that's what actually created this attitude that I have.
Michael, it led you to entrepreneurship, but you got it on the head. You have just such a beautiful attitude towards life and people.
Oh, thank you.
And I'm afraid if you didn't have those experiences, you wouldn't feel that way.
That's what I feel. So
it was a blessing.
It was actually a blessing. So that's why I don't, I blame my father for many years. But actually, at the same time, I'm grateful for those experiences because it actually made the person who I am today.
That's very true.
So, thank you, Dad.
Oh, thank you, Dad.
And he also was responsible for us meeting.
He was also, Mike, tell him the truth. Okay, his dad is amazing. He's very amazing with the women, okay?
Yeah, I don't know what it is. He's not the best looking guy, but he's charming, I guess.
He's got charisma. And what did he tell you about me? He knew me since 2001.
Yeah.
So it was through him that we met. What did he tell you about me?
He was like, Mike, that's a good woman. I haven't slept with her. That's the first thing he told me, and I'm like, well, that's your gauge of what a good woman is. But I guess if you didn't go for him, I guess that he saw good in you. You didn't go running around and stuff like that. So yeah, that's how he introduced us, and he told me that. So then I was like, okay.
So, Mike had 7 years of bad luck, but then the rest of his life is fabulous because we met, right?
Exactly. And it was.
Thank you, Dad. It was all because of his dad, the down and the up.
The down and the up, exactly. All right. So, yeah, that's my journey into becoming entrepreneurship. So I came back to America, accelerated, a super fast pace because I had drive, because I felt like I was stagnant, in my country. So I was, last time in corporate working for, 9 to 5 was like back in 2012, 2013. And I started doing, I was marketing online, and now I'm doing hair, and
And he's been doing the marketing for what, 10 years?
Yeah.
And still doing it.
And I'm still doing it. So
every day.
every day I still do it. Every day I still do it. So I want to on the next episode probably talk about what's the motivation. So I mean, I already answered that. Motivation is there, but sometimes it's not. But your why you're doing is what's gonna keep you going despite whether you feel like doing it or not. So
what does that mean?
Well, if when you get started with something in your life, like let's say you want to start doing you have a dream that something you want to start. A lot of times they ask you, what's your why, and write it down.
Okay.
The reason they ask you that is because you're going to be presented with obstacles, things that are not going to work your way, maybe tech issues, maybe you're not getting the funding, or maybe people are discouraging you from doing it. But if you have a strong why, that could be maybe your family, this could be your daughter, or it could be just going, you have this dream of traveling around the world. Whatever the case is, your why is going to keep you going because...
So you just kind of think about why you're doing all this?
Exactly, and who else is going to benefit from it.
Oh, okay.
So your why has to be bigger than you. If it's just you, your personal thing, you're just gonna see the next thing and move on to the next thing, and you never will accomplish anything.
Opportunity to opportunity,
exactly.
And this sounds good, and that sounds good, and then you have no direction.
And then you have no direction. But once you have a strong why, and it's gonna create a purpose, and that's gonna turn into action. And as soon as you remind yourself, maybe read the why that you wrote down. It creates instant motivation right away because it's like, oh man, I feel tired today. I don't feel like doing this. But I really, really want this for X, Y, Z.
And then you read your why, and then maybe ideas might come.
And then ideas come.
And it'll shift you a little?
It shifts your whole perception. And if you need to take a break, sometimes we don't always feel like doing just take a little break, but you have to have a strong why.
Take a break and have some fun!
Exactly, you balance it out. That's why I married her. She's just a fun person. Despite whatever.
That's why?
A little, more than that. Okay.
What that is, this episode of Expanded Awareness. I hope you enjoyed it.
Yes. And
go ahead.
Yeah, and if you have any questions about, starting your own entrepreneurship, journey.
This man's got experience.
I have experience, and I can actually recommend you some, opportunities that I've been doing myself. So anything that I recommend or that, she recommends here are actually things that we have gone through or that we have used, whether those are products. But if you're interested in, starting maybe a business online, or you want to learn the skill of marketing, I have a link below that you can check out. It's a free video, so watch it if you're interested in. And if not, just leave me some comments, and hope you learn a lot from my story today.
Thank you, family, from my heart to yours.
All right. What did you say? Hasta
la pasta, baby.
All right. Talk soon, guys.